Welcome to Something on Sports. I'm your host, Something. I'm here today with my co-host, Ricky. Ricky, say what's up to the people.
What's going on, people? Giving it to you raw and unfiltered today. Raw and unfiltered.
I already know what time it is then. Today's episode, we've got a hot topic that's been flying around the internet. Who has a better career, Allen Iverson or Chris Paul? I'm going to go ahead and let you weigh in first, Ricky.
You know, it's crazy. I haven't seen the Allen Iverson, Chris Paul. I was looking at they've been having AI versus Kyrie up there a lot. Probably would have tied in with one of our previous topics that we did a couple days ago.
Right.
But um, I don't know, man. I think Allen Iverson, he's an icon, man. It's just, even though CP3 is the point guard when it comes to, and then some may say that Iverson is a two. He's not even a one. So even though he came in the league as a, what I'm saying, as a two. So, but it depends on who you ask. If you look at it as far as accolades, Chris Paul wins a lot of that. Chris Paul went on thing. Allen Iverson has an MVP, but when you look at accolades, even all stars, all NBAs, Chris Paul wins all of that.
Right.
But when you look at the impact that Allen Iverson had on the game, it's kind of like that Jordan effect with a lot of people. Allen Iverson, he changed the game with the dribbling, the style, the culture.
Right.
So you really can't take a lot of that stuff away and give it to Chris Paul. Chris Paul's never been like the face of the league like Allen Iverson has. Chris Paul don't draw double teams like Allen Iverson has. Chris Paul was a scorer. I mean, it was a pass first point guard that could score. Allen Iverson is just a scorer. He just get it done the way it can get done. Chris Paul has never been to the NBA Finals. Allen Iverson took Eric Snow and Theo Ratliff and them.
So let me cook for just 1 second. So you're wrong.
Cool.
And Chris Paul, the biggest robbery of an MVP in NBA history is Chris Paul the year after COVID, when Phoenix went from not being in the playoffs to the finals and losing to Milwaukee. Chris Paul should have won the MVP that season. He got robbed. There's never been a turnaround of that degree, and Chris Paul was the leader of that turnaround. So when we talk about MVPs and Allen Iverson, I don't like that, because Chris Paul should be an MVP. If that was Steve Nash would have won back-to-back MVPs off the season that Chris Paul had.
Would have been, bro. You know how that go.
Yeah, but you said Chris Paul never been to the finals, and he took a team that hadn't made it to the playoffs in like over a half a decade to the finals his first season there. Right?
So who?
You just said that Chris Paul had never been to the finals, and I was just like, no, Chris Paul did go to the finals.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's my thing, right? I think
they were already good, bro.
What's that?
That was already good.
They didn't make the playoffs the year before. They hadn't made the playoffs in like 6 years. Bro. No, their whole team was healthy.
What team are you talking about?
Phoenix.
Yeah,
they didn't go
with Devin Booker and all them.
They didn't go to the playoffs. They were in the bubble. They missed the playoffs. They were like
they did. They missed but that's what they went on. They undefeated, because they was undefeated in the when everybody came back.
Well,
but
yeah, but they didn't
make it. Yeah.
What's that? Yeah, they didn't make it.
They had a terrible record before they entered into all that crap. Yeah, I remember. You're right.
And then they turned it around and had the best record in the league, I believe. So
they started that the year before, though. CJ, come on now.
Come on,
man. They started that the year before.
We don't know. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna say. That was a circumstance that was weird to any other circumstance that's ever happened. We don't know what would have happened if there was never a bubble, right? What we do know for a fact is that every team Chris Paul has ever went to, he's made better and turned them around and made them a solid team, right? So we know that for a fact. So okay, we do give credit to Booker because he was developing, but I mean, the facts are the team didn't make the playoffs the year before. Chris Paul gets there, they go to the finals, right? So, okay, maybe the next year they make the playoffs, but they weren't making the finals. Chris Paul was the man of that season. He was in the MVP race. He was in the MVP race of that season. He was fifth. but he should have won the MVP. You know, they're not going to give him.
That's when they gave it. Who was it? That was when Joel got his. Won it that year.
I think
No,
Joker
what year
got
was that?
Joker got it that year.
Joker. It was
So
Joker.
yeah, you know,
I
it's
was
like
mad. Yeah,
yeah,
I had to. You right. Now when I say you're right. But I definitely had CP3 winning that MVP that year. But again, I don't think you got Devin Booker and then you got Eric Snow. Who you think who team
okay.
was better?
We'll get back to that. We'll get back over there.
Okay.
All right. So I'm gonna address that. We're gonna get there. So it's hard if I'm thinking about the impact on the game, then Allen Iverson wins hands down. But if I talk about just solely basketball and who has a better basketball career, I probably have to lean towards Chris Paul, and here's why. You said some of it, like Allen Iverson's a scorer and won 4 scoring titles, right? Chris Paul's won 5 assist titles. That's what he does, right? Allen Iverson's won 3 steals championships. Chris Paul's won what? 6. Chris Paul has 11 All NBAs, where Allen Iverson has 7. Chris Paul has 9 all defensive first teams, where Allen Iverson has 0. And then if you want to start getting to the advanced numbers, Chris Paul has played 290 games more than Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson's win share is only like 99, right? His win share is 99. Chris Paul's win share is 209, bro. And he's only played not even a twice as much of a career, only like a quarter. And it's over double the amount of win shares. When you look at advanced stats like PER, Allen Iverson's PER was 20.9. Chris Paul's is 24.0, bro. So he's much more efficient. He's going to contribute to winning more. Chris Paul's been to the playoffs 15 times in his career, led his team 15 times to the playoffs. Allen Iverson's only been to the playoffs 7 times. So, and I this is a hard conversation to have because we all love Allen Iverson. But when we start like breaking down the numbers and the accolades and like everything, because that's what you have to look at. I'm looking at everything. I'm not just looking at, oh, I just like this player for this reason. If you want to be true, I like Allen Iverson more than Chris Paul. But if I got to be real with myself, Chris Paul's had a better career.
I really don't understand you, bro.
How?
I don't understand you. All that you just said makes so much sense. But when it comes to Jordan and LeBron, and when it's the same exact circumstances,
No,
Jordan
it's not.
just got a legend. Hold on. Allen Iverson has a legend about him that makes him who he is. It's not the numbers. It's not the stats. It's not all of that stuff. But when it comes, like I understand, that's why I said what I said about Allen Iverson. I would say people would take the legend of Allen Iverson and say he's better, but Chris Paul, by the numbers, he's better than Allen Iverson in all aspects.
Right.
But you said you would take Chris Paul, but when somebody else has better numbers in all aspects,
No.
I'm not gonna say no names or anything like that.
We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna.
I'm not. But I'm saying, but when others have better numbers in all aspects.
Yo, stop. Yo, just like you stopped me in the last pod about because you wanted to get some shit clear.
I'm just giving you. I didn't say no names, CJ.
I want to get this clear.
You, when other people have the same situation going,
it's not the same situation.
You say, that's why
it's not the same situation. It's not the same situation. Okay, so we're talking about Jordan and LeBron, right? And so it's not the same situation because Jordan, like what I'm talking about, Chris Paul has the accolades, he has the stats, he has the advanced numbers. Jordan has the advanced numbers in the accolades and the championships over LeBron. LeBron has longevity stats. So it's not the same argument. I'm not making the same argument I'd make for Jordan or LeBron. It's a different argument.
It's not, because a lot of this stuff is longevity. What if he made all NBA after his whatever year, 15 years? And now his body broke down.
Well, part that, and he was, you know, he became an alcoholic and stuff, man. So like he did it, he did it to himself. I mean, I know it sounds wild to say, but he kind of did it to himself. Yeah, man. When you look at Jordan and LeBron's stuff, Jordan's win shares per game is better than LeBron's. His PER is better than LeBron's. LeBron just has more win share because he played 450 more games. So that's not my argument with them too. I will say this though. I want to acknowledge something that you said earlier, because it could either sway how you feel. It might not sway how you feel. When you talk about, look at the teams that the players had, which is fair. It is fair to be like, you know, he had Eric Snow at point guard, but having Eric Snow at point guard allows Eric Snow to guard the best, you know, player on the other team's backcourt.
Bill
Aaron
White
McKee, Aaron,
Aaron McKee.
Aaron McKee won Sixth Man of the Year. Dikembe was the Defensive Player of the Year. So I know they couldn't really score, but you had like a Detroit Pistons type defense on your team because you had everybody on your team was all NBA
One thing to
defensive
beat
team.
Shaq and Kobe like that.
But well, yeah, that's Shaq and Kobe. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's Shaq and Kobe. I don't think that Chris Paul is beating Shaq and Kobe either. But I think they win at least 2 games. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they're a better offensive team. I think that team is better. But what I will say is that the path to the finals was much easier for Allen Iverson than it was for Chris Paul. I will also say, though, it was on the back of Allen Iverson because I'll never forget that playoff series. It was one of the greatest playoff runs by one player because he was going for 40 and going for 50 every night against Vince Carter and Ray Allen and shit in the next series. And so
it was crazy. I knew it was gonna run out. He couldn't do that for 16 games, bro. That's just ridiculous.
But then you have to think about the conference that Chris Paul's always played in. So he's always over here playing in
Western Conference his
whole entire career.
So
all the teams he's playing are much more difficult than the teams that that Allen Iverson was playing. Like that year, right. They beat in the 2021 playoffs. They beat the Lakers in the first round, who were the defending champions with LeBron and freaking AD. You know what I'm saying? The second round they beat Jokic. You know what I'm saying? Who was
was injured too. I think that run they got lucky because they ran up on.
They ran up on the Clippers when the Clippers were injured though. That's where they got lucky because they ran up on Kawhi and them. Yeah, because I think that year if Kawhi was healthy,
AD was injured that year too. When I think he had just came back, and then and LeBron had just came back for a couple games. So
he played though. Well, you know what? Let's run that back though because Chris Paul was injured too a lot during the season and in the playoffs, and they were still.
That's why he don't have a ring because he's supposed to have a ring in Houston.
Yeah, he's supposed to have a ring. I don't think, but I will say too. I don't think that, because right now everybody's giving love or everybody's like, well, he's had whips and he's had all these fly weapons that he could pass to. Man, I don't think that the Clippers team was as good as everybody makes them out to be because what's that? Yeah. I think Blake Griffin, when it's all said and done, I feel like Blake Griffin was a little bit overrated. Good basketball player, but him and DeAndre Jordan, when the Clippers traded Chris Paul, the team went from being a team that could make it to the conference finals to not even making the playoffs, and they still had Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan and the rest of the team. So you could see that Chris Paul was the difference on that team. Without Chris Paul, they can't make the playoffs.
What did I call him earlier, though? What did I call him earlier? The point guard. I'm not going to take nothing away from CP3. Now, you know how I feel about CP3. You know what I'm saying? You know he's up there.
You know how bad Chris Paul is? If Chris Paul doesn't get hurt against the freaking again, he's getting hurt because he's always hurt.
He's always hurt. If he got hurt in the Clippers.
If he doesn't get hurt against the Golden State Warriors when he's on Houston, James freaking Harden has a ring right now, my boy. Right now. Yeah, and then they went up 3-2, and on Kevin Durant, Chris Paul, or Stephen Curry, and Klay Thompson, right? So it's like Chris Paul is that dude. Chris Paul gets injured and they get blown the fuck out the last 2 games, right?
No, them motherfuckers went 0 for 100 from the 3-point.
But if Chris Paul was playing, they wouldn't have done that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
hey, like I said, man, he up there, man. He up there. He definitely top 5 point guard of all times in my eye.
What's your top 5 point guard? We should say that for a different show. We'll do that on a different show.
I was thinking about it before I said it. I was about to say it's top 3. Now I was thinking I said, let me go ahead and give him a couple more. You know what I'm saying? Before I want to put myself in a box.
Yeah, we'll wait. We'll do a whole pod on that. We'll talk about we'll do top 5 positions or something like that. So top 5 point guards, power forwards, whatever the case is. It's gonna get juicy too. You know what I like about these top 5 debates now is that some of these new age niggas are in that shit, and so like debating this shit be like with old heads older than me. Yeah, man.
Cold. And that's another thing that this disparity in talent from today to yesterday, it is crazy. Like it's so much talent in it. It's the talent in the league now is ridiculous. Yeah, your third or fourth man might drop 40 on you one game.
Yeah, yeah, I ain't playing no defense though. So to get back to the subject though, I mean, give me some more thoughts. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I kind of went for a little bit. I wasn't just trying to cut you off, but I had a lot to say, and I just wanted to make sure I got it all off. So I want to make sure you get everything off that you wanted to
Oh
say.
no, I mean I got majority of it, man. Like I said, I think the legend of Allen Iverson, he just has a legendary stature about himself. I think there's gonna be a lot of people. I mean, because they, like I said, they're comparing to Kyrie. You're gonna hear the Steph Currys. Like Allen Iverson, he just changed the culture of the game. He's a legend. He's gonna be historically talked about no matter what, because he was a little guy with such a big heart, and then he did that run in the playoffs, man. If you look at it, besides that, there's really not much success that Allen Iverson had in the NBA. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Besides being a very glorified scorer. You know what I'm saying? And then he'll start being, if you know his career, like he was a cancer, you know what I'm saying, to people. So but a lot of people don't like CP3 either. Some
right,
people, you know what I'm saying?
right. Well,
So
because he's an asshole too. You know what I'm saying? So,
exactly.
so I mean, I get it, but I understand that too, because it's hard to be a nice guy and win or do good. Like, I've been a manager and I mean, I'm not going to say I'm a nice guy. I can be an asshole, but I'm pretty, fun going and stuff. I got jokes and stuff all the time. But at work, you got to be an asshole because the other person over there, they don't care about the shit as much as you
Yeah,
do.
they're gonna take advantage of
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah. They don't care. So you have to make them do their job. And so that's kind of how he
Right.
is in the locker room. He's making people do their job, and it's new age. They're not ready for that shit. They don't like they don't like the
Holding
confrontation.
people accountable. Hold them
Right,
accountable.
right. I mean,
Like,
if there's one thing you can say about Chris Paul is that he's a leader. The dude's a leader.
oh yeah, that's why he's the president of the association, so the players association. So people, you know what I'm saying? He's a leader of men. That's the big thing. He's a leader of men.
You know what I forgot to mention in the last podcast, and I'm going to say it now in case anybody was watching it, they can go back and Kyrie was the vice president. And they make it seem like he's this crappy dude, but he's the dude that all the players wanted to be the vice president and got voted into the position while the media was tearing him apart. All the other players were
He's
looking up to him.
very and he's very, very smart. Kyrie ain't no
Right,
dummy. Ain't no dummy. I mean, he might say stuff that you might disagree with, but the stuff that he's gonna say, he's gonna give you a broken down reasoning behind why he's saying what he's saying. I mean, everybody have their own. I said, everybody have their own truths. You know what I'm
right.
saying? There's a difference between facts and truths. Everybody has their own truths. Those are his truths. You know what I'm saying? He did his research to determine this what he figured out is true. So
Well, we want to know down in the comments below, who do you guys think has a better career? I already know the comment section is going to say AI like crazy. I already know it's going down. I've been
that's
doing
what I'm saying.
YouTube
It's
for a
just
little
like
bit
a
of time.
legendary status, man. It's like certain things that you're not gonna get people brains to comprehend what's
Right,
happening now.
right,
You know what
right.
I'm
Because
saying?
even though everything says that Chris Paul has had a better career, every statistic that you can look at, efficiency, win shares, freaking playoff
I think
runs,
AI got
all
points.
what's
AI
that?
got points.
Yeah, AI
AI
got
got
points, of
points.
course. Of course, AI has points because AI going to shoot the ball.
AI gonna let that bit fly.
He gonna let it go, bro. You already know. Yo, AI. I mean, I have nothing but love for AI, for real, for real. That's one of my favorite players of all time. He's probably my favorites, not my top 10 best, but my favorites. He's in my top 10
Right.
for real,
Definitely
easily,
one of my favorites.
easy. He's probably 6 or 7 for me.
I practiced that dog on crossover forever.
Yeah, when you just look at Allen Iverson, 42% from the field goal percentage. I'll give Allen Iverson this though. His playoff average is like second all time to MJ, I
He
think. Or I
wasn't
guess
in the playoffs a lot.
yeah, yeah. But
How
yeah,
many
this
games?
dude,
How many games is that?
hold on. He's shooting 22 times a game, 21.8 times a game to get 26 points.
That's more
Where
than Jordan and Kobe.
what's that?
I said
Yeah,
that's more than
yeah.
Jordan and Kobe.
And that's only to get 26. And then Chris Paul is over here shooting the ball. Oh man, I went out of the page I was on. But he's only going to average like 18 or something, 19, but he ain't shooting 22 times. You know what
Now
I'm saying? Like,
he averaged 17.7 and Allen Iverson 20.5. Allen Iverson later years he was dogging it up. He wasn't really scoring like that.
yeah. Well, I mean, you can't. But Chris Paul's 38. Before this year, he wasn't really dogging it out. He only shoots the ball 13 times a game. So, and for
He a
17.5.
point guy, bro. He don't shoot the
Right.
ball a lot.
But I'm saying Allen Iverson shoots the ball 9 more times to only get 9 more points. That's not really good. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to shoot the ball 9 times to get 9 points, bro. That's not good at all, you know? So, I mean, just little things like that when we're thinking about, these players, Iverson obviously is going to get to the free throw line. And he's going to get to the free throw line 9 times. So where Chris Paul's getting there 4 times. So that's 5 more shots. So he's taking a total of 14 more shots to get 9 more points. That's not good, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's not good. But I understand why I understand too. He's little. He was all the offense. You know what I'm saying? Like, he had to take bad shots.
Yeah, I mean, they ain't doubling the CP3 like they doubled like Allen Iverson. Like, he had 2 main defenders all the time.
But you can't double Chris Paul like that because he'll make the right pass. So I don't think that. I think that
the right pass too.
What's that?
Allen Iverson's gonna make the right pass too to the rim.
Right.
You had to be right to the rim.
You know exactly his teammate walking with him. He's like, he fakes the no look to his teammate and passes it to the rim.
He ain't got no X button, bro. He ain't got no A or X, whatever platform you play. He ain't got that button, bro.
He got that button.
No, nothing but analog.
Oh, that's funny as hell. Analog is all you get with Allen Iverson.
Crossover, shoot up, man. Shoot that motherfucker.
All right, man. You got anything else on this topic for him?
Nah, man, nothing forming on this, man. Like I said, it was crazy. I really never gave an answer. You know what I'm saying? Because I really can't.
You didn't. Well, I thought you were going with Iverson. Yeah, I thought you were on Iverson.
Yeah, I never really gave an answer because I really can't, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? Because you got, like I said,
non-filtered, non-biased. You got to pick one. You got to stand on one today.
It has to be. If you looking at basketball, it has to be Chris Paul. I like longevity. I like people that he took care of the ball. His assist to turnover ratio is impeccable.
God tier.
You know what I'm saying? So
God tier.
You can't. I mean, I can't not give it to CP3. All the noise scream at you.
Right.
So,
right.
But yeah.
All right, y'all. That's what we got for y'all today. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Go ahead and say peace out to the people, Ricky.
Peace out, my people.
Make sure y'all hit subscribe, like, and that notification bell too on the way out. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.